It is 7 a.m. the day after the time change. Full disclosure, I'm a mess, but I have coffee on deck. And today we are going to talk about becoming a social media manager. Let's go. So a lot of people are probably going to disagree with me on some parts of this video. If you do, please keep in mind that everybody is on their own journey. Everybody starts their businesses in different ways. There is no one size fits all. What I'm going to tell you in this video is not the only way that you can become a social media manager, but this is exactly how I took my business, in my opinion, fairly quickly, full time, in a relatively short amount of time. But do not mistake quickly for easily, because that was not easy. And if you aren't familiar with my story of how I got started in social media management, it is posted over on my Instagram, which is at Paige Media Co, as well as on TikTok. But I'm going to be posting a video here on YouTube explaining exactly how I got started. But I want to keep this video pretty quick because it is relatively simple once you boil it down to the most important things that you need to become a social media manager. But again, please keep in mind, everybody's journey is totally different. If yours does not look like mine, that is okay. And if you haven't started your journey yet, it's probably going to look completely different. What I'm here to do is give you everything that I possibly can. I will tell you everything that I do within my business. I will share with you all of the resources that I possibly can in order to help you make this business actually happen for you. So looking back, there really is only 4 things that it boils down to when becoming a social media manager. Also, please keep in mind that under each of these 4 things, there is about 1,000 other things. Circumstances and accessibility to certain things is always going to play a factor. So going into this, just keep in mind, these are just the tip of the iceberg. I'm going to try to include as much information about them as I possibly can in a very short amount of time. But if you have any questions about anything, as always, you can leave them in the comments below. But let's get into it. The first one is your education. So in my opinion, you do not need a college degree to become a social media manager. However, investing in your education is crucial to your success. And this education does not always have to look like a traditional college degree. Personally, I learned more working hands-on in the social media management industry than I ever did sitting in a classroom. But I also went to college during a time where social media management wasn't really a thing. So in a time now where that focus would be available, I don't think it would hurt to have it. But I do also think that there are tons of other ways that are much cheaper than going to college. These other options sometimes are even free. We'll talk more about that in a second. But there's definitely way more relevant and more affordable ways to gain an education when it comes to social media management, marketing, the psychology behind marketing, how to run a business. There's a lot out there. I tried to condense this section as much as possible, but here are just a couple tips I'm going to give you when choosing how to invest in your education. Number 1 is to research your educator or your instructor. Choose to learn from somebody who has actually done what you want to do. And this doesn't mean, oh, I see them on vacation all the time on Instagram and that's what I want to do. No. The person that you choose to learn from should have, at one point or the other, established the type of business that you are trying to establish. If someone is an online business coach and the only business that they have ever owned is their online business coaching business, red flag. The next thing to keep in mind is that investing does not always have to mean money. There are lots of free ways to learn marketing and social media management. Again, more on that in a second. But investing can mean your time, your energy, your commitment, making an effort every single day to make this business happen. If it's a small step or a huge step, if it's a step forward or a step backwards, that is investing. You do not always have to fork over hundreds of dollars, especially if it's something that you don't know if you actually want to do. If you have no experience in the social media management industry, and you aren't sure if you actually want to commit to making this career happen, there are tons of ways to invest in your education without actually spending money. And this is why I don't necessarily recommend a college degree if you are interested in getting started in social media management, just because of the cost. It's kind of a lot if you aren't sure. So as far as learning for free, HubSpot Academy is one that I tell everybody about. Facebook Blueprint is really good. Google Digital Garage. Pretty much anywhere that you can learn about marketing or the psychology behind it, because those are very crucial skills to have. And some other places that you can elevate your skills for free is going to be right on places like Canva. Canva actually has a huge library of teaching graphic design, showing you how to use the platform. Same thing with things like Planoly, other content design and scheduling tools. Pretty much all of them have walkthroughs right on their website that teach you how to use their platform. Especially the Canva library has tons of amazing resources in there. I highly recommend it. That link will be in the description. And one of the last things to keep in mind when it comes to your education is that you can actually invest in a very affordable way. For example, places like Shaw Academy start at around $50 a month, and you can take as many courses on there as you want. There are ones that are geared towards social media management. There are ones that are geared specifically towards video editing. You can also invest in marketing, educational resources like books. I'm about 4 years into actually being a social media manager, and I still learn something new every single day. Every year I spend at least $1,000 on elevating my education or learning a new skill. But when it comes to your education, again, there is no one size fits all. Find what works best for you. One of the other big pieces of advice I can give you under this education category is to get familiar with the actual platform that you want to provide services for. So if you want to provide services for Instagram, learn Instagram in and out, read their blogs. Again, the actual websites of these platforms have amazing resources inside of them that I think sometimes people forget about. But again, for the sake of keeping this video as short as possible, there are tons and tons and tons of other educational material. You can always check out the Social Media Manager Survival Guide. I hate promoting this, but I know truly deep down in my heart how valuable the guide is. It is only $99, and when I tell you it is the Bible of my business, it is the Bible of my business. Every template, every contract, every resource, every tool, everything that I use in my business is inside of that guide. That link is in the description as well. Moving on. The second of the 4 things that you need to become a social media manager is experience. One of the fastest and cheapest ways to learn how to become a social media manager is by offering your services in exchange for a testimonial. And this is where I push some buttons. I'm not telling you to work for free. I'm not devaluing your services, and neither are these potential clients. I would never tell you that your time isn't valuable, because it is. But when a client pays for your services, they are paying for more than just your time. They are paying for your expertise, your knowledge, your relevant experience, your education. And it's not fair if your client is paying you to learn the job at the same time that you are actually doing the job. Imagine taking your car to a shop to be fixed and the front desk person was like, hold on, we have to go Google how to fix this in the back. It's just not fair. And you can't expect somebody to pay expert level pricing if you're in the back Googling, how do I fix this? You should also really pride yourself on having that hands-on relevant experience. When social media managers claim that they started their business with no experience, that directly translates to, I'm just trying to sell you my course. Because anybody who actually is a social media manager knows that experience is pretty much the only thing that you need to be successful as a social media manager. All I'm saying is that not a single one of my clients has ever asked to see my college degree, but every single one of them has asked to see work that I've done in the past. Working in exchange for a testimonial is not the same as working for free, which brings us to number 3. You need a portfolio. I have a whole sleeve of tattoos. I know you can't really see them right now. And when I was shopping around for an artist to complete this sleeve of tattoos, one of the only things that I asked to see was their portfolio. I needed to see their work in order to imagine it being on my body forever. Now, obviously tattoos are a little bit more permanent than social media content, but having a portfolio that you can show clients will help them to envision their brand in your hands. So how do you build a portfolio if you have no experience? And this comes back to me pushing buttons. Work in exchange for testimonials and screenshots before and afters that you can actually put into your portfolio. When you start your social media management business, you need to tell everybody that you know what you're doing. Your friends, your family, your coworkers, friends of friends, cousins, second, third, fourth, fifth removed, everybody. Somebody is going to know somebody. All you have to say is, hey, I'm starting this social media management business and I run your socials for 1 month in exchange for a testimonial and to use the before and after of your profile in my portfolio. Boom. It just blows my mind when people say, don't work for free, you're devaluing yourself. Everybody starts somewhere and it's not something to be ashamed of. So speaking of everybody starts somewhere, again, with your portfolio, there are tons of ways to fill it. Other than asking for testimonials in exchange, you can also start a passion project. So a passion project would pretty much be a business that you completely made up that you would then build the socials for, put through your branding process, whatever type of service you want to offer, make up a business. This is not false advertisement. This is not scamming. This is exactly what they teach you to do in design school to build a portfolio. Show the work that you're capable of. That's one of the only things the client is going to want to see. They're going to want to know how experienced you are. They're going to want to have a good time actually communicating and working with you, and they're going to want to see your portfolio. If you're looking for a free way to host your portfolio, you can do it through Canva's bio link. This is a little hack that I like to use in the Social Media Manager Survival Guide. Like to do is actually host it right on my website. So if you go to my website, you will see my portfolio right on there. It's not super updated, which reminds me to put that on my to-do list, which as a business owner is quite literally never ending. So if you are interested in becoming a social media manager because you think it is this glamorous, crazy lifestyle, please know that a lot of us are very stressed out 98% of the time. And it's okay if you are too. The people who make it look really easy probably aren't actually doing what you're doing. Anyway, number 4, you need to have proof for what you are offering. You need to show that the service that you are providing actually returns results and has made your clients in the past very happy. So think of it when you are scrolling through Amazon, you are searching for something very specific, you find 10 of them. What are you gonna look at? The reviews. Social proof as a social media manager is essentially just your reviews. You need to show what past clients said about working with you, show that they had a good customer experience. You need to show that they were happy with the results and with your overall service, because your social proof speaks volumes without you actually having to say anything. We have a visitor. He left. Okay, so that wraps up the 4 things that you actually need to become a social media manager. Again, keep in mind these are the tip of the iceberg, but this is where you need to invest a lot of time in the beginning. Again, it does not need to be a ton of money invested, but please know that even though starting a social media management business may be on the relatively lower end of startup costs, it does not mean that it's free. Let's talk about the 4 things that you don't need. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. So number 1, as a social media manager who is just starting out, you do not need a full-blown website. All you need to start with is a landing page, a way for people to contact you, and a business email. In the beginning, that business email can be created through Gmail. In my opinion, it is not frowned upon, especially when you're first starting out. Your landing page can be hosted for free through something like Linktree or the Canva bio link, and your booking page can be free through something like Calendly. Again, all very low startup costs, but can be in place of an entire website, especially in the beginning, because a website takes a really long time to build. It is kind of a bigger investment, especially if you need to buy your domain and then you need to host it, and then you either need to pay somebody to build it for you or spend dozens and dozens of hours building it yourself. I didn't have a website until almost a year and a half into my business. So don't spend a ton of time building this crazy, amazing website. That will all come with time. Yes, it's super important very soon after starting your business, but you can get away with just a free landing page in the beginning for sure. So the second thing that you do not need to become a social media manager, I already kind of said throughout this video, but a college degree. Again, I think there are plenty more affordable, a lot more relevant ways to educate yourself about social media management, especially if you don't know if this is the path that you want to take. The third thing that you do not need to start becoming a social media manager is a full-blown branding of your business. I know somebody who does branding for businesses telling you that you don't need branding for your business. Crazy, right? Hear me out. When you are branding your business in the beginning, it does not need to be this crazy intense process where you're branding every little detail. Stay simple in the beginning. Don't worry again about building this amazing website that is completely branded to you. That will all come in time. And yes, it's important, not one of the first steps that you need to take. But just pick a couple key elements right in the beginning, 2 or 3 brand colors that you're going to stay consistent with. And then as you go on, as you create more content, you will find more of your style. You will be able to brand yourself as you go. Still don't even have a technical logo for my business, and I am almost 4 years into this. There are way more important things to spend your time investing in, especially in the beginning. Number 4, one of the biggest mistakes that I see new social media managers make is paying for ad space. They are paying for ads to promote their service, to promote their product, to promote their digital downloads, and you are just straight up wasting your money. Not only because people buy from people with an emotional connection, not from businesses, but also if you start paying for ads as soon as you start your social media manager Instagram account, if you're paying for ad space, you are then training your account to know this person will pay to be seen, so we don't have to organically push them. I cannot really attest to the 1000% accuracy of that. This has never been confirmed to me like through Instagram or anything, but it's the same thing for an account that has been established for a long time. Once you start paying for ads, the algorithm then learns we're just going to push their stuff out when they pay for the space. So stay away from paid ads. Focus on building a connection and a relationship with business owners around you and ones that you just cross paths with on Instagram or wherever you choose to offer your services. And those are 4 things that you do not need to become a social media manager. So again, please keep in mind that these are just the tips of the iceberg. There is so much more depth to each of these categories that it's impossible to cover in just one video. I have a lot of resources that I would love to offer you, but I hate sounding salesy. So all the links will be in the description of this video for anything that I talked about in this video. If you want to stay updated, you can subscribe right here on YouTube. I put out new videos every Monday. I hope you are taking some sort of value away from this video. I know it's frustrating when there is no one way to actually learn something, and that's all I can attest to is what I know and have proven myself to work. Obviously, there's lots of other ways to do it. Never try to say that your time isn't valuable by working for free. I'm just letting you know what worked for me. But keep an eye out for my full story. I'll post that on here very soon. And make sure we stay connected on your favorite social media platform. Instagram and TikTok is at Paige Media Co. Any questions, comments, or concerns, you can leave them in the description of this video, and I will see you next week. Bye!